See, we go again. It's our second match day. Italia versus Switzerland. Believe it or not, I saw a stat today that I had no idea about. We have not beaten this team in 18 years. That's a full-grown adult in Australia, where myself and amazing guest Adriano are joining you from right now. First guest from Queensland. There'll be many people watching that channel that'll be like, they probably don't even know what Queensland is, to be honest, man. But Adriano, tell us a little bit about yourself, about your career as a cultural fan, who you support, how you became that fan for that side, obviously, and yeah, just a little bit about yourself, bro.
Yeah.
Benvenuto into Worldwide.
A little bit about myself. Too easy. Well, thank you very much, Anthony. Lovely to be here, mate, and thank you for inviting me. But yeah, no, look, from Brizzy, born and bred in Brizzy. Biggest Juventino tifosi out there. Absolutely loved them since I was like 5 years old. I had the little figurines of Baggio, Del Piero, Ravanelli, Vialli. You know, all of them have about 100 Juventini jerseys, as you can see behind me. Where is he, Papita? There? Oh, no, that's Buffon. But no, absolutely love them. I have been lucky to see them twice in Sydney, once in Sydney, and I think when they went to Melbourne, I'm pretty sure. So, no, look, very, very fortunate to be surrounded by a big Italian football family. But no, I'm Italian. My dad, he's from Friuli.
Nice.
And mum is half Sicilian. Yeah, half Sicilian, half Venetian. So I've got a bit of a northern and southern in me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, thank you for giving us your time. We're here to discuss match day 2 for our Azzurri. There's 6 people in here now, which is actually fairly good. I don't expect to get viewers at primetime Sydney, because that's opposite of primetime everywhere else in the world. So if you are here, drop a like, let us know where you are and what's going down and what you think is going to happen on match day 2 for the Azzurri. Fantastic result, Adriano. Match day 1, 3-0 versus Turkey. Couldn't have asked for any more, really. That was a great showing from the boys. Switzerland will be tougher. I predicted in this group that they would finish second. I think a few people were a little iffy on that prediction, but I still back them to finish runner-up in our group. I think they're a gutsy nation, and no matter what it is, Euros, World Cup, Switzerland always come to play, man. This will also be a good little introduction as to what we can expect when we've got to face them in September and November as World Cup qualifying opponents as well. One of the tougher sides. So this is going to be a good game. I don't expect this to be easy at all. At all. So what are your initial thoughts going into it before we start talking lineups, G?
Look, reviewing the game that they played against Turkey, this is going to be completely chalk and cheese. The way that the Turks came out within the first 10 minutes, we could see that they were very defensive. Italy, I personally, from what I saw, Italy struggled a little bit within the first 10 or so minutes, trying to break down a team that was quite compact, but also parking the bus quite a lot. You're going to see it completely change within the Swiss. Very much more of an attacking side. They like to play a lot through Shaqiri and Xhaka, but also on Rodriguez as well on the left, which is what they use a lot against Wales on the weekend. You're going to, I think personally, that will suit Italy far more, having an attacking opponent. It will create space within that middle, but definitely chalk and cheese compared to the Turkish setup.
Yeah. Fair enough, man. So when we start to talk lineups, and to be honest, I've got a couple of crowd favorites in the house, so I'm just going to drop them this link as well and see if they want to come in. That would be Bruno and Uncle Sharma. Not too many changes that we'll expect in this lineup. Obviously, Florenzi was probably our weakest player on the pitch. His drive to go forward was very minimal, not many, if any. And after he picked up a knock as well, he's the obvious choice to come out. From the 8 people that are in here right now, once again, make sure you like the video. Let us know where you're from and where you are viewing from. That was the same thing. But anyway, Adriano, let's have a look at the lineup. And it's pretty much as expected. I'll just share my screen with us right now. Pretty much the same lineup that whooped Turkey. And where is it? There it is. All right, cool. So Donnarumma starting at the back, Spinazzola, Chiellini, Bonucci. They've got Florenzi starting on this site right now, but I can guarantee you that will not be the case whatsoever. He is injured and he's not going to play that game. So, Adriano, Toloi or Di Lorenzo?
From reports, reports that have just come out now, I've just gone through a couple of the Italian journalists. They're reporting Toloi. Now, I personally think Mancini will go Di Lorenzo, considering what he showed in that second half. His attacking flair changed completely the game in the second half. His link up down that right-hand side was far better, gave Italy more pace. It depends how Mancini wants to go. Does he want to go a bit more of an all-rounder in Toloi, or does he want that attacking type of flair down the right with Di Lorenzo? Look, I personally think he'll go the safer option and go Di Lorenzo, considering how he went in that second half, but I can be completely wrong. He could pull a rabbit out of the hat and go Toloi. Either way, I don't think you're losing much. Florenzi gave, I think, I agree with you, mate, was very lackluster going forward. He did his job, but not enough to go forward with Berardi. Him and Berardi, I think, were probably the weakest links I found on that right edge. But yeah, no, I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think Toloi, or do you think Di Lorenzo?
I think I really liked Di Lorenzo in the second half. I think he was exactly what the doctor ordered in terms of pushing forward and just, creating chaos on that right-hand side so that it's really unpredictable for the opponent to tell what direction our attack is going to go through. He should be fit. He should be available. He's got the match fitness. He's got the form. He's got the tactics down packed. I see no reason to throw an extra man in there yet. This is match day 2. It's not like we only need 1 point to qualify. We still need to win this game, in my opinion. We need to win this game, and I want to win this game with the toughest team out there. So I'm liking the midfield as well. Locatelli, Jorginho, Barella. I think it's a fantastic midfield, and I'm more than happy to have it. I don't see any reason to risk Verratti and bring him back at 70% fitness when you can get him at 100% fitness for the round of 16. I've got a comment here, and I just want to say hello from France to Marvel. Fantastic. Ciao, Bruno. Come stai? We'll bring you in a bit.
No worries, mate.
They must rotate the centre backs and use Bastoni. Look, no one's gonna love Bastoni more than Bruno and I, but I'm sure Bruno and I will also agree. You don't fix a tap that doesn't leak. It's as simple as that. Chiellini and Bonucci have got one of the best relationships at centre back in international football. And as I said, let's just get 3 points and then we can talk about experimenting against Gales, or Wales in English. So, Bruno, how are you, man? We just finished talking about the defense and the midfield. I've got the lineup still on screen. Meet Adriano from Brisbane. Adriano, my right hand on the channel. Bruno, what would you change in the defense or the midfield, bro? Or are you liking what you see? Bear in mind, this lineup is slightly incorrect. We know that Florenzi won't be starting the game.
Yeah, look, Spinazzola, he didn't have the game everyone said he did. He had great involvement, but he wasn't amazing. And I could say that for the rest of the Italian team. They weren't phenomenal. Turkey made us look extremely well. Defense, like you said, you don't fix a tap that's not leaking. Bonucci, Chiellini were playing phenomenal, but we don't know how they pulled up. And he's one of the oldest there, and Mancini's got a great reputation for rotation, so we don't know what's going to happen there. Barella, you could tell after watching the game, you could tell that he's not used to this. He's not used to this formation, and you could tell Turkey did not play in his favour until the second half, and that's when he really came alive, when the whole game changed. So, yeah, you'd expect a showing from him this game, especially after being quiet. Immobile, definitely. Berardi, definitely. Insigne, I think he mucked up that much. Normally he'd take those chances like that with Napoli. His textbook just on the inside of the box, curl it into the corner every single time. He just wasn't there, and it just wasn't his night. So maybe because he got that goal, it's given him that momentum. But Chiesa would probably be the only one I'd change up front, if anything.
Yep.
Let's go back to Adriano. What are your thoughts on the front three, man? Because to be honest, a lot of people were praising Berardi after his performance. I actually would say he was very similar to Insigne. Yeah, he at the decisive moment, he provided the ball that would go to the goal, but I don't think he was great. I thought he was actually our weak link for a lot of the game. I would be putting if that was a change I would make, I would put Chiesa in that position. What about you?
100%. I believe until Berardi did that assist, he was pretty poor. His decision making, his running into space, he actually didn't even. From what I saw, there was times where that midfield, created the space. There was opportunities there for Berardi to cut through the line, get in behind the line. He didn't do it. His touches were, I thought, and his decision making weren't up to scratch. For a guy that's starting and Mancini gave faith in, you shouldn't be taking 55 minutes to get into a game and having one or two good moments. Chiesa is coming off a phenomenal season from Juventus. I think one of his best he's had in Serie A. I believe giving that pace, that dynamic edge, he can assist, but running through the lines, cutting through the lines itself, I feel it's going to give another dynamic edge to that Italian front three. For me, Berardi doesn't cut it. He can be a super sub, but not a starter. I think Chiesa gives far more of an attacking option and much more creative spark in that front three.
I would agree, man. Before we go on to Switzerland, let's go to this really cool question by the game man Zed. Wanted to know the weak link of this Italy squad. What's your take? In terms of knowing the weak link of the squad, I wouldn't say we have a weakness. I'd say we have depth in all departments. If you're asking a weak link in the starting lineup, I guess all three of us can give our take on that. I would say it's still probably just the right-hand side of the field in general. It's weaker. It's a little bit less experienced. And, we just don't have that man that for sure he's our best right back, because Florenzi's got the experience, doesn't have the form, doesn't have the legs. Di Lorenzo's got some of the form, doesn't have much of the experience. And at the end of the day, I just think Di Lorenzo's the best pick at the moment, and Toloi has absolutely none of the experience. And this is the Euro group stages. We're not in qualifying versus Luxembourg or Liechtenstein. So I really just think start the players who can do the job properly. Adriano, we'll go to you first. If you'd have to pinpoint one weakness, what player or area would it be for you?
Right back. For me, right back. If I had to choose one area, definitely right back. I think, looking at that, we don't have much depth within that area. Yeah, we can bring Spinazzola to the right and then put Emerson on the left. That's a solution there. But like you said, Toloi, we don't. Yeah, you've played for Atalanta. You've had a good couple of seasons. We don't know what you're going to be like in a big tournament. Florenzi, just as good as he has been, he has lost that cutting edge, what made him brilliant at Roma. Yeah, poor guy. He's getting old and his legs are not as what they should.
There's stories in football.
That's it. And look, to be honest, yeah, I think that right back spot, I wouldn't touch the centre backs at all. I don't think they're our weak links. As much as I would love to see, Bastoni, play, and Acerbi's a great backup. Why fix something that isn't broken?
As I said, bro, get 3 points against Switzerland.
For me,
as I said, get 3 points against Switzerland. You've got an international friendly against Wales 4 days later. Play them then. Rotate them then, Adriano.
Exactly. Rotate them. Gain top spot. If we've got top spot, I don't care if you put out a whole second string 11 and you even start Benedeschi, who I'm not the biggest fan of, but doesn't matter. Get the points, get the top spot, rotate everyone, because I can guarantee you, Chiellini's going to pull up injured sometime soon. He's got a track record for it.
Conte did it in the last Euro when we grabbed that late goal against Sweden. That's why Conte was going so nuts and he was jumping over everybody. He was like, yes, now I can put out my B side in the next game. We did, and we lost 1-0 to Ireland, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. Bruno, going over to you. Any weaknesses, bro?
The Florenzi. And you can't – the issue is you've got Toloi there. Use him. Utilize him. Yeah, he hasn't got the international experience, but guess what? Atalanta's been in flying form. He went deeper than most teams in the Champions League the last 2 seasons. He's playing, and you got to test him. And what better way to test him when you've got 2 of the most probably well-known centre backs alongside of him, who can sort of assist if any issues do arise from his lack of experience. But at the end of the day, Florenzi, I don't know why he was picked initially, especially after the season Inter did have, and you could see the versatility of Damian. I would have much preferred to have Damian on the bench, who can play very much well both sides. And in an instance like this, Spinazzola can move to one side and Damian can switch. But I just feel Florenzi was picked because of his name, because of his past with Roma. But he hasn't got it, and it might be a blessing in disguise. I don't want to see Bastoni. And the only reason I say that is, it kills me to say this, but he will cause Italy to suffer. He hasn't played in a 4-man backline. He's played in a 3-man defense with arguably 2 of the best centre backs in the Serie A, if not Europe, next to him. So the job's a bit easier. Whereas you chuck him in with Bonucci or Cellini, he might not look as good, and he hasn't got the experience. So let's save that for the Wales game. But yeah, Acerbi maybe, but definitely that right-hand side, I think it's unanimous amongst us. It will get exposed. If not against Switzerland or Wales, they will start exposing it in, once we leave the group, because the way it's shaping up, we're going to have a big challenge ahead of us either way.
Yeah, fair enough. Well said, boys. Good chat. Let's keep it going. Let's go over to the rivals predicted starting 11, which is Switzerland. They line up in a 3-5-2. There are not too many threats here. Honestly, I'll come clean. I only know Shah in their right back. I'm in their right centre back position. I actually don't know the other 2 defenders at all. We've got Rodriguez, who we're familiar with, Frola, which we're familiar with, Granit Xhaka, who plays for Arsenal, Zakaria, I have no idea who he is, sorry, and Mbabu, it doesn't ring a bell at the moment. We all know Xherdan Shaqiri, and Mbolo, who is probably more famous for having a 91 potential on FIFA back in the day than he is now, and I remember signing him plus. But I'm actually not too sure how these players are going to go against us. I think they'll struggle to make an impact in the first half. I think the Switzerland attack will fall dead at the end of our defense in the first half. When Italy does decide to push forward and go for the goal, I expect this Switzerland side to come at us in a much harder magnitude than Turkey did. Turkey, you know, they were really reserved. And, you know, it happens, man. Opening game of the tournament, jitters, anxiety. You're playing Italy. You're not the better side. Turkey just literally sat back and really hoped they could hit us on the break. But we're just too efficient. We're too put together to allow us space. Switzerland will not do that to us. They will shut us down quickly. They will make sure on the break we don't have as much space to invert the wing backs. And I think they will like having more of the ball. Adriano, what are your thoughts going into this lineup, man? What do you think is going to cause Italy problems?
Look, to be honest, I don't. If I'm being brutally honest, after watching Wales and the Swiss play the other night, you know, Akanji likes to, as a centre defender, he likes to move up quite a bit. You've got Rodriguez on that side that he's very attacking. He, you know, trotted up and down that sideline. I can't see anyone in this team, to be honest, causing Italy at all a big threat. Maybe the link up between Xhaka to Shaqiri, or linking plays through Rodriguez. Again, we can nullify that with our good positioning and our good awareness. The good thing that what Italy does is when we lose that ball, we get it back within an instance and we close down that opposition very quickly. You know, probably they relied a lot on Rodriguez against the Welsh. There are a lot of crosses coming in, and if that's a tale for what's to come, you know, for us, I think we've got 2 of the tallest defenders in Europe. They're fine to clear that. I can't see anything, to be honest, attacking wise in this Swiss team that's going to cause us issues. Shaqiri was non-existent against the Welsh. Xhaka had a good couple of moments. Rodriguez was their main threat, but you can nullify him.
I was gonna say, man, Xherdan Shaqiri, in my opinion, has lost it. He's lost it, bro. Like he barely played for
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Side. And honestly, bro, yeah, he can still do something drastic
Absolutely.
with his left foot, but the guy's lost it completely, in my opinion. Bruninho, over to you, brother. Any threats from you for Switzerland, or do you really think that this Italy side will handle them very, very comfortably?
I'm actually amazed that you two aren't worried about this Switzerland side.
I said I was worried before you came in.
Yeah, no, I know you did, but at the same time, I just don't think we're giving them the credit they deserve. You know, there's opening round. You never really gauge any team whatsoever. You know, it's everyone's getting those cobwebs off from not playing competitive football for a month or a month and a half. So I never really judge any teams based on their opening round. So I don't want to jump the gun and say Switzerland were poor, but at the same time, they provide a massive and completely different dynamic and challenge compared to what Turkey provided. Yeah, Rodriguez is there and Xhaka, but you've got. So I don't think I could picture any of their goals coming from inside the box. So we really need our midfield to step up and defend really well as well, because most of the teams capable of scoring a Patrick Schick goal, what he scored on the weekend, because you know what, they've all got power behind them, and they've all got that amazing finesse behind them, and it's something that our midfield can't sleep on. So you need the likes of Barella and Jorginho dropping back, and Locatelli, and providing that extra layer of defense, which could potentially be our downfall. But overall, like you said, Adriano, if we nullify Rodriguez, we nullify a lot of their firepower, because I can't see Mbolo or Shaqiri getting too deep. But their biggest threat is their goalkeeper, in my eyes. Summer has been playing phenomenally lately. I think he's still with Mönchengladbach at the moment, but he's had a great season, a great couple of seasons. And I didn't realize how good he was until a friend of mine actually told me, be careful. He could be one of the greatest. So if our strikers aren't on their game, it's going to be very interesting. It will be very interesting, but it's going to be iffy. Can we keep a clean sheet? I hope so. I'm thinking 2-0, maybe. But we'll see.
Good shout here from Wesley. Wes, my boy. Wes coming in hot from Sydney, from the Shire. Seferovic has some attacking threat for the Swiss. He's not in the predicted lineup, but I agree, bro. I do know who you're talking about, the striker for the forward for Benfica. There is no reason why Shaqiri should not be benched for him. Shaqiri would be a much tougher player to play against off the bench anyway. If Shaqiri starts, man, I am not worried. He is so one-dimensional. He'll be the first attacker to get closed down and get substituted in the second half. I can almost guarantee that, man. Bruno gave us his prediction, 2-0. I'll go next and echo that prediction itself. My gut says, my heart says 2-0. My gut and my head say 2-1, that we do concede a goal. But I'm going to go with 2-0. I like it. And if Immobile starts, he will score again, albeit maybe from the penalty spot. I don't know, but he will score. And I see us getting a goal from a set piece. I think Chiellini and Bonucci were hungry in the box last time. I know we've got a header coming soon. I know we've got a rocket header coming soon, and I reckon it could be one of the bold boys to get it. Adriano, what about you?
I'm gonna go 2-0. I think we may potentially have 3 goals in us against the Swiss, but I think it's going to be a lot tougher. The Swiss are going to come out with a far more of an attacking mindset than the Turks. For me, 2-0. I don't see us. The only way Italy will concede is if they themselves have a blackout moment.
Yeah,
I can't see Shaqiri penetrating through the lines with Chiellini and Bonucci in the middle. They're just going to bully him all day long. If we nullify, like Bruno said, if you nullify that midfield and our defense is in line with our mids, and we're closing the ball down quickly and we're not allowing them space, I think 2-0 for us is going to be quite easy.
Yeah, no, well said, man. So that being said, boys, I hope that, because the kickoff's only in about 8 hours? 9 hours. about 9 hours time.
Yeah, 5 a.m.
So we did this one. What's up now, Biggie? Always present. Love it. We did this one, and I've called it like more of just a pre-match chat because I would have liked to get a match preview out a little bit earlier, but I think we've got it in us. I don't think the turnaround for the boys, on the other hand, is going to be a big deal. I really think we can get the job done, and if we do, I'm really looking forward to some solid squad rotation against Wales. That'll be the icing on top. Get these 3 points so I can enjoy. We can all enjoy match day 3. With a spot in the next round and just watch the other nations. Just quickly, while I've got the two boys here, it's Euro time. Why not? Why not just extend it another 3 or 4 minutes? Because we're almost done with match day 1, right? Yeah. If we're the first game tomorrow, that's it. We're done. Match day 1. Bruno, who's impressed you the most? Is it us? Is it us? Have we impressed you the most? You're muted, by the way. Unmute yourself.
Yeah. So, the team that impressed me the most is actually a team who lost. It would have to be Scotland compared to all the games I've seen, and I haven't watched all the big ones, but I did watch the Scotland Czech Republic game. If they played for another 3 hours, they wouldn't have scored against that Czech keeper on that day. But they just showed so much heart and so much passion, and you could see from the second they stepped on that pitch, they're hosting their own international fixture and stuff like that. So it was really, really there. And that's what I really love about this tournament. And it's not centralized to one country, and it's spread out across a lot of them. So Scotland really did impress. But if we're talking about teams who won, you can't go past Belgium. You can't go past Belgium or Slovakia. Lukaku
Slovakia?
absolutely.
What do you mean Slovakia? Like, I know they were good. You mean France?
Leave it with me. I'm not on. I'm running.
Your boy. That's why he scored.
So if you listen, you look at Belgium. They were highly criticised. No Kevin De Bruyne. You're not going to do anything good. You're not going to impress. And they just went out and did that. And it was phenomenal. So I don't know. From an Inter perspective, it looks very, very positive. But I'm gonna say,
representing hard, bro. We represent hard.
No, but it's just that you can see that these players have come off a title-winning season and they've got that momentum with them. So when you've done something well and you know how you're doing it, you just keep running with it. And I think that's what you saw from Skriniar especially. It was phenomenal. But yeah, Belgium probably dark horse, but can't go past the Scottish. I gotta be crazy. I'm like that.
I know, bro. I know. You're a weirdo. What do you do? Adriano, who's your best team so far, bro? And if you want to talk a little bit about surprise packages, we'll throw that on to you as well. Any dark horses, man, or you think it's going to be an obvious nation?
I'm going to say, look, if they play like they did for the first 25 minutes, England, that style of play that they possessed in the first 25 minutes, I thought was probably the best I've seen the Poms play for a while. Then they just lost their shape and resorted to long balls. But yeah, for the Poms, yeah, they played really well for that first 25 minutes. Belgium are thereabouts. For me, I can't pick a clear favourite. Like France struggled for them while against Germany. Portugal struggled against Hungary. For me, if the Poms play like they did for the first 25 minutes, they could potentially get semis, I think.
I really don't want them to do well, man. I think I speak for most Italians where I don't want to see England win. No way. I would disagree when I actually think France were quite good.
I can't stand England.
Yeah, I thought France were actually half decent. You got to remember Germany are not at their strongest point at the moment, but it's still Germany. It's still freaking Germany. And the way France had a stranglehold on that game, I actually think Germany were very lucky not to be down 2-3, 4-0.
In Germany as well. They played
in Germany. There you go. Yeah. Honestly, I thought Paul Pogba, who, as we all know, when he decides to turn up, is the best midfielder on the planet, hands down. Just when he decides to. Just heck. Whenever he feels like it, he'll decide to be the best midfielder on the planet. And then he'll just go walk about for a month or two. their team is too stacked. It's too stacked when their second and third side could start the final. So I expect them to almost walk every game until the quarterfinals, just until it starts to get a little harder on an emotional, mental level. But that's just me. And yeah, that's it. Any nations for you boys that are just horrible, whipping boys, disappointments? I'll start this round. I reckon Spain are the weakest I've seen them in a long, long time. I'm looking at their lineup and I was watching their game, and then I was looking at their subs coming in as well, and I'm like, these guys are a real far cry from the Spanish team that whooped us 4-0 in 2012. So obviously it's to be expected, but it's a big fall from grace. So for me, I think Spain are a pick. I don't think they might not get eliminated in the group stage because they've got this whole, the weird format where the third place team can go through. It's bullshit. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But for me, Bruno, Spain are the biggest disappointment so far.
Oh, look, Spain are disappointing to me. Spain had one of those teams that was one of the best you ever see. And over the span of 6 years, so two Euro tournaments and a World Cup, they were untouchable. But before that, who was Spain, right? So I don't really see that. But yeah, Wesley does bring up a good point. Netherlands, they're shocking, but their group is their group. So, but some of the teams, just watching them play, you just wonder how they got there, and you just wonder what is the caliber in Europe for these teams to get there, and then you remember that they've expanded. But yeah, Spain would definitely be the most disappointing team based off the first game. But like I said, I don't like judging off game one.
I expected Poland to be slightly better, and then I remembered Lewandowski doesn't have the best Bundesliga 10 behind him, and he did struggle a little bit more. Adriano, surprise packages that are failing, teams overall that just suck this tournament. Whipping boys, what do you reckon?
Look, I'm going to go for the clean sweep here. I'm going to say the Spaniards, but I ditto what you guys say, and I'm disappointed with the turnout, how the Germans played this morning. Again, you can't judge off one game, but if they're going to play with that passiveness, and there was no real creativity at all, and they had quite a golden period as well, like the Spaniards. And both those teams, I think, to be honest, from match day one, have been pretty poor, and it's hard to judge after one game, but I would have expected a lot better.
Yeah, fair call, man. Fair call. All right, boys, I think that might just do us. That was 32 real fun minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. I'm looking forward to a nice early wake up tomorrow, and I think we'll be in high spirits. I think we'll be in high spirits. 3 points should be okay. Bruno, I'll leave with you first, bro. Thanks for always joining us on Inter Worldwide. I'll speak to you soon, brother.
Always a pleasure. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Adriano, thank you so much for joining us, bro. It was your first time on the channel. I hope you enjoyed it. Always good to get rival fans on, even if they do represent, the biggest rivals of the bunch. But yeah, man, it was awesome to talk to you about our beloved
supported team in Italy.
That's it, man. And I think we'll do well. I think we can do well this tournament, man. And hope to see you again on the show.
We'll do well. Ciao, brother. Thank you, mate.
Beautiful. All right, everyone. Forza Azzurri, Forza Italia. Let's get these points, bro. Let's go. Let's go again. Ciao, ragazzi. Forza.